It's hard. You know, you want to do it, and you want to be an artist forever and just give people yourself and your vision and your thoughts and your feelings. But it gets hard when, you know what I'm saying, you don't have anything and you feel like you're putting a lot of your time and energy into this one goal or this one dream and you're not getting anything back.
My name's Jackson Wise. I love to write music. It's probably the thing that I'm best at. I just have this little bug inside of me that just needs to create something. And you know, having a guitar next to me or in my hands, I can just, in some way, it feels natural.
Zoe is an artist, producer, shit talker, an educator.
My sister urged me to, you know, just pick up a pen and start using it. She was like, get good at something. So I just started writing it from there. I started making songs until I was in college. But, you know, I had always had a thing for music.
I'm just trying to get wet and zip closes. 20 bags of green and that Vaseline lotion. That flips my 412 pack of Trollers.
We played the Vans Warped Tour. We've played it twice, and the first time we played it was summer of 2010. And that was just an awesome experience because, you know, who would have thought?
I started working as a teacher. I never taught before. Basically what I did, I taught them music. This was not only a classroom setting, this was a special ed classroom setting, which means we have kids who were getting kicked out of public schools. You know, half these kids had POs, half of these kids were in and out of jail. I used to classify as a lot of kids had one foot in the classroom, one foot in the jail cell.
Our drummer had connections with some guy at Sony that was essentially promising us a record deal. He just didn't know which subsidiary of Sony we would get placed in.
It got to be such a pain in the man dealing with the school and with the touring, and it was crazy because I didn't really get too much support. Even if I had the sick hours, they weren't going to pay me sick leave for 2 days in a row. If I was out for those 10 days, they would only take 5 and then not pay me the other 5. All I know is that one day I had a job teaching and the next day I didn't.
It was like a little knock in the face because we had worked so hard and, you know, we had all these things that were looking up for us. At the same time, though, we were all so unhappy when it really came down to it.
It can be hectic when you got kids and a family. They don't want you out all night doing shows.
Go get it.
So in order to manage a mortgage, which does not stop because you don't you lose your job, you know, you gotta kind of stay disciplined. I think a lot of people kind of look for like a magic formula as far as, well, you know, if you got you know, 5,000 followers on Twitter, you should be all right. No.
The balancing act is tough. It's just you know, it's how bad do you want to do what you want to do?
I'm usually up to like 2, 3 in the morning working on music. So my time is like when everybody else is asleep. That's when I got time to like focus on some music and being creative. You
gotta suck it up and get a day job sometimes, you know. or some type of hustle, which is why, you know, I'm trying to get these piano lessons started, man, because, you know, that will actually serve as something a little bit more consistent rather than having to deal with janky promoters and janky promoters.
Financially, it's tougher than I would think. In school, it was joyous. I went to class, my parents supported me, I was getting a degree, and I was playing music, all for free, essentially.
You get a good run to where, you know, you're out for a couple weeks and, you know, money's coming in, or, you know, you release something and it's, you know, starting out really well. You know, those are obviously the upsides, and you're like, okay. But you get those streaks to where you thought you had maybe about 6 or 7 shows lined up, and you know, 5 of those shows don't come through.
When you're underground, you don't get paid. Nobody wants to pay you. So you end up doing a lot of free shows just to get the exposure, and a couple people from the shows might actually go out and buy a project that you have. Or if you have some projects on you, they'll buy a project from you. But generally, you don't make much money.
There's so many different avenues to where folks either just don't want to pay you, period, or, you know, it's a monthly or weekly hustle, and you know, you get a few of those, and you know, those are kind of hit you in the stomach sometimes, to where, you know, at least at the school, you know, I was, you know, guaranteed a check every other week.
But now I'm just serving and bartending at a restaurant in the Richmond area and playing music at the same time. I guess trying to pick up the pieces of Safety at Orange, but at the same time make music in every possible way.
Even if I didn't release music or perform, I'd still make music. I'd still be tinkering with something, writing something, just for my own sanity, you know?
Do what makes you happy. Do it with the people that you love. Enjoy every second of it. Work your ass off. And when you think you have worked enough, work a little more.
I don't think I'll ever be happy, man. I think I'll always be trying to reach and do more.
Here we go. Better days ahead, I ain't looking to the past, except for inspiration to get up off my ass, do something monumental, over instrumentals. Yeah, I stand now as a man with no credentials, but and that's the way it's going to the end, Jack. Never gonna follow their trends, whack. Tell them something. Tell them, Shaka. Let them know. Yeah, man, we ain't looking at the past, man. KIM, let's go.